Are you tired of feeling like you're constantly spinning your wheels, but never actually getting anywhere? You know the drill, waking up with a long to-do list, pushing through distractions, only to end the day feeling like you've accomplished nothing. Well, let me tell you something. This doesn't have to be your reality. Today, we're diving into 5 pragmatic habits for peak productivity that will actually get you moving and achieving, not just busy. And here's the kicker. These aren't your typical productivity hacks. Forget about cramming your day with endless to-do lists and motivational tips that leave you exhausted and overwhelmed. In this video, I'm going to share real, actionable habits that will challenge how you think about getting things done. You might even be surprised by the truth I'm about to drop. Stay tuned, because if you're ready to stop wasting time and start making real progress, this video is exactly what you need. Keep watching. It's time to unlock your full potential. Number 1. The 20-minute rule. Embrace the power of short bursts. All right, let me start with a bold statement. If you're working for hours on end, trying to cram as much as possible into a single stretch of time, you're doing it wrong. Yes, trust me on this one. The idea that we need to sit for hours grinding away is actually a productivity myth. The secret to real productivity isn't about working harder or longer. It's about working smarter, in short bursts. Intrigued? You should be. You know the type. You sit down at your desk, ready to dive into the task at hand. You've got a cup of coffee, your to-do list is staring you down, and you're thinking, this is it. I'm going to power through. But 30 minutes in, you start getting distracted. Your mind starts wandering, your energy dips, and suddenly you're scrolling through social media or checking your email for the 3rd time. Sound familiar? We've all been there. It feels like your brain just doesn't have the stamina to keep going, no matter how much you want to get things done. But what if I told you that's actually okay? In fact, it's exactly what should be happening. Here's where the 20-minute rule comes into play. Instead of forcing yourself to work for hours straight, break your work into 20-minute chunks. Yes, you read that right. 20 minutes. Set a timer and focus intensely on one task for those 20 minutes. When the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break. It's that simple. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. 20 minutes? That's too short. But here's the thing. Our brains aren't designed to focus for hours on end. Studies show that our attention naturally wanes after about 20 minutes. So, rather than fight your brain's natural rhythm, you embrace it. This strategy taps into that sweet spot of focus and energy. Short bursts of work, with breaks in between, maximize your productivity while avoiding burnout. Let me share an example. A few weeks ago, I had a mountain of video editing work to get through. I could have forced myself to power through, but instead, I decided to try the 20-minute rule. I set my timer, dove into the first task, and after 20 minutes, I took a 5-minute breather, stretched my legs, grabbed some water, just cleared my mind for a moment. And you know what? The results were phenomenal. Not only did I finish more work, but I actually felt more energized and less drained by the end of the day. That's when it clicked for me. 20 minutes of focused work was so much more effective than hours of half-hearted effort. Here's the thing. Implementing the 20-minute rule isn't just about being more productive. It's about taking control of your time and your energy. This method helps you create momentum without burning out, and it gives you permission to rest when you need it. It's about reclaiming your focus, your peace, and your mental clarity. You're not some machine that can churn out endless hours of work. You're human, and you deserve to work in a way that respects your natural rhythms. So, the next time you're feeling overwhelmed or like your productivity is taking a hit, remember, work in 20-minute bursts, take breaks, respect your limits, and watch how much more you get done, not just in quantity, but in quality. Because in the end, it's not about how much time you spend working, it's about how wisely you use that time. Reclaim your space, your peace, and your dignity. Number 2, the discomfort zone. Seek uncomfortable situations for growth. Here's a statement that might raise an eyebrow. The secret to growth lies in discomfort. I know, it sounds a bit backwards, right? Who in their right mind would willingly choose discomfort? But hear me out. What if I told you that the greatest moments of personal growth come from those very moments where you're out of your element, feeling uneasy, or even downright scared? Trust me on this one. If you're always staying in your comfort zone, you're missing out on the growth you're capable of. You know the type. You've got that task you've been avoiding, the one that makes your stomach twist with anxiety. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting, or trying something new at work, or even confronting a difficult conversation with a friend or family member. You keep putting it off because it's uncomfortable, and while you're avoiding it, that little nagging feeling keeps growing in the back of your mind. We've all been there, right? We all know that feeling of hesitation, of avoiding discomfort at all costs. But here's the thing, that's exactly what's holding you back. Now here's where the magic happens. Instead of running from discomfort, you lean into it. I'm talking about seeking it out on purpose. Push yourself into situations that make you a little or a lot uncomfortable. Why? Because it's in those moments that you stretch, that you expand your limits, and that you truly learn what you're made of. You see, when we face discomfort, we get a unique opportunity to learn new skills, build resilience, and discover strengths we never knew we had. But here's the kicker. Most of us avoid discomfort because it feels, well, uncomfortable. But without it, we remain stagnant. The discomfort zone isn't something to fear, it's a place to embrace. It's like the gym for your soul. You won't see results if you never push past the easy reps. Let me give you an example. A few months ago, I found myself in a situation that made my skin crawl. I had to give a presentation to a group of people I barely knew, and I was terrified. I mean, I could feel my palms sweating just thinking about it. But instead of canceling, making excuses, or letting that fear take the wheel, I said to myself, all right, let's do this. Let's lean into the discomfort. I went into that presentation feeling nervous and unsure, but guess what? It wasn't as bad as I imagined. In fact, I actually enjoyed it. It was uncomfortable, sure, but it also turned out to be one of the most empowering moments of my life. I learned new skills, gained confidence, and realized that discomfort was just the price I had to pay for growth. And that's what I want you to take away from this. Embrace the discomfort. It's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're doing something right. Every time you choose discomfort over ease, you're choosing growth over stagnation. It's about reclaiming your power to face whatever challenges come your way, knowing you have the strength to overcome them. You're not afraid of discomfort. You welcome it, because you know it's the key to unlocking the next level of yourself. So, the next time you feel that uncomfortable twinge, don't back down. Take a deep breath, step into the discomfort zone, and trust that you're growing, learning, and expanding. Your space, your peace, and your dignity aren't just found in comfort. They're forged in discomfort. Lean into it and watch yourself rise. Number 3. The no-plan day. Eliminate rigid schedules. Here's a little secret. Planning every single minute of your day is actually sabotaging your productivity. Yep, you heard that right. The idea that rigid schedules make you more productive? Total myth. If you've ever been trapped in a planner, staring at an endless list of tasks that never seem to get done, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now you might be thinking, but without a plan, how can I get anything done? Well, trust me, sometimes less planning means more productivity. It's time to consider the power of a no-plan day. We've all been there, right? You wake up with a to-do list that looks like it belongs to an overachiever. You check off one task and feel great, but then the next one feels even harder to tackle. And let's be honest, by mid-afternoon, you're exhausted. Your motivation is at an all-time low, and you're wondering how the heck you're going to finish everything by the end of the day. We've all been that person, juggling so many things at once that nothing really gets done properly. But what if I told you the answer isn't in cramming more structure into your day, but in removing it? Here's the idea. Try a no-plan day. I know, it sounds radical, right? But hear me out. Instead of scheduling every minute or obsessing over a to-do list that never ends, set aside a day where you don't plan anything. You wake up, check in with yourself, and see what feels right. Maybe you tackle that project you've been avoiding. Maybe you read that book you've been meaning to get to. Or maybe you just spend some time wandering, doing whatever feels good at the moment. The key is to let go of that rigid structure. No to-do lists, no deadlines, just freedom to be present in whatever comes your way. Let me give you an example. Last month, I was completely burned out. I had a million things going on, and I was juggling multiple projects. I could feel myself slipping into that autopilot mode where I was doing things because I had to, not because I wanted to. So, I decided to experiment with a no-plan day. I didn't make any plans, didn't check my calendar, and didn't feel guilty about it. I woke up and asked myself, what feels right today? And that day turned out to be one of the most refreshing days I'd had in ages. I ended up being more creative, more energized, and surprisingly, more productive than I'd been in weeks. By giving myself permission to break free from that rigid structure, I allowed myself to get back to what actually mattered, and it didn't take a plan to make it happen. Here's the thing, a no-plan day isn't about being lazy or irresponsible. It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your sanity. It's about breaking free from the stress of constantly checking off boxes and letting yourself breathe for once. When you free yourself from the confines of a rigid schedule, you open up space for creativity, spontaneity, and, most importantly, balance. This is how you get back in touch with what truly drives you, without burning out in the process. So the next time you feel like you're drowning in deadlines and never-ending tasks, take a step back and give yourself a no-plan day. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Give your brain a break from the constant grind. Your peace, your clarity, and your creativity will thank you, because sometimes the best way to move forward is to stop planning every step and just let life unfold. Number 4. The Single Tasking Manifesto. Reject multitasking. Here's a bold claim. Multitasking is a productivity killer. Yes, you heard that right. All those times you tried to juggle 5 things at once, convincing yourself that you were being efficient. It turns out you were probably just scattering your focus and wasting energy. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I've got a million things to do. How can I not multitask? Well, trust me on this one. Single tasking is your secret weapon, and it might just change everything about how you get things done. You know the type. You're in the middle of responding to an email, but your phone buzzes with a message, and before you know it, you're lost in a social media rabbit hole. Then your mind jumps back to the email. But wait, you just got a call. Sound familiar? We've all been there, right? In today's world, we're constantly juggling tasks, trying to do everything at once, convinced that if we don't, we'll fall behind. The result? We're stressed, distracted, and probably not doing any of those tasks well. But what if the answer isn't about doing more? It's about doing less. That's where the power of single tasking comes in. Single tasking is the simple art of focusing on one thing at a time. Instead of bouncing between tasks, you dedicate your full attention to the task at hand. Sounds easy, right? But here's why it's so effective. When we multitask, Our brains don't actually do multiple things at once. Instead, we're rapidly switching between tasks, which leads to cognitive fatigue and mistakes. But when you single task, you're giving your brain the opportunity to do deep, meaningful work. You're eliminating distractions, getting into a flow, and actually completing tasks more efficiently. And here's the kicker. You're not just getting things done, you're getting them done better. Let me share a personal experience. A while ago, I was trying to finish a big project while also answering emails, texting friends, and keeping up with social media. I was convinced that I could do it all, until I realized I wasn't actually getting anything done. I'd check my email, then get distracted by a message, then forget what I was doing entirely. It wasn't productive, it was chaotic. So I decided to give single tasking a shot. I turned off my phone, closed all my tabs, and just focused on the project. And you know what? I finished it in half the time I expected. My mind felt clearer, I was more focused, and the quality of the work was better than I could have imagined. This is about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your mental clarity. When you embrace single tasking, you stop diluting your attention across multiple things. Instead, you give your full self to one task, and the results speak for themselves. This isn't just about being more efficient, it's about being more present, more focused, and more intentional with how you use your time. You deserve to do your best work, and that starts with giving yourself the space to focus on one thing at a time. So, the next time you catch yourself trying to juggle multiple tasks at once, remember this. Single tasking isn't just an option, it's a way to work smarter, not harder. It's about embracing focus and giving yourself permission to do one thing and do it well. Your peace, your focus, and your productivity will thank you, and trust me, the results will be worth it. Number 5. The boring habit. Do the mundane. First, let's face it, no one wants to tackle the boring stuff first. We all tend to put off the mundane tasks, thinking we'll get to them later when we're in the mood or have more energy. But here's the catch. The longer we delay them, the heavier they hang over us. Now, I know you're probably thinking, come on, who really wants to do the boring stuff first? Isn't that counterintuitive? Well, trust me, sticking to this habit might just change the game for you. It's not about denying yourself the fun or interesting tasks. It's about unlocking your true productivity potential by handling the unexciting stuff right off the bat. We've all been there. The email inbox full of messages you know you should respond to, the laundry piling up, the dishes that somehow never get done. It's easy to find reasons to put these things off, isn't it? We keep telling ourselves we'll do them when we're more productive or after we've handled the fun, creative stuff. But then the day ends and we're left with a stack of things that are still hanging over us. It's draining, it's stressful. And guess what? The longer you leave those mundane tasks, the more they pile up and the more overwhelming they feel. Here's where the boring habit comes in. It's simple. Do the mundane tasks first. Whether it's responding to those emails, folding that laundry, or tackling the small but annoying tasks you've been avoiding, just get them done. You'll be amazed at how quickly the rest of your day starts to flow. Why? Because once those little tasks are out of the way, your mind is clear, and you can focus on the bigger, more exciting projects without that nagging sense of, I should have done that earlier, in the back of your head. Plus, there's something oddly satisfying about crossing off the smallest tasks on your to-do list. It creates a momentum that carries you through the rest of the day. I'll give you a personal example. A few weeks ago, I was in the middle of a hectic workday. I had an important video editing project, a few emails to reply to, and some errands I had been putting off. The editing was fun, so I dove right into that first. But every time I took a break, I'd look at the pile of emails and the laundry that had been sitting there for days. It wasn't until I decided to tackle the laundry first that things started clicking. Sounds crazy, right? But once I folded the laundry, I felt like I had this burst of energy. I was no longer distracted by those looming tasks. I jumped into the emails, responded to them quickly, and was ready to take on the bigger projects. The shift in my productivity was immediate, and it all started with doing the boring stuff first. This is about more than just productivity. It's about taking control of your day. When you conquer those boring, mundane tasks early, you're taking ownership of your time. You stop letting little things linger and distract you. It's about reclaiming your peace, your focus, and your ability to handle whatever the day throws at you. And here's the thing. Those small, seemingly insignificant tasks, they actually add up. By clearing them out first, you're not just getting things off your plate. You're building momentum, reducing stress, and setting yourself up for a day that's both productive and fulfilling. So, next time you're faced with the choice to dive into something exciting or push through the boring tasks first, remember, doing the mundane first isn't a punishment, it's a strategy that will free your mind, fuel your productivity, and leave you feeling more accomplished at the end of the day. Your space, your peace, and your productivity will thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video gave you some fresh insights and practical tools to elevate your productivity. If you found these habits valuable, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps. And if you're looking for more content like this to keep you on track and in the zone, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Also, if you know someone who could benefit from these productivity tips, share this video with them. It might be exactly what they need. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below and let me know what productivity habits work for you, or how you plan to implement these into your daily routine. We're all in this together, and your experience might just inspire someone else. Remember, productivity isn't about being busy. It's about being effective and focused on what truly matters. Keep taking those small, deliberate steps toward your goals, and I'll see you in the next video.